welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a long time, and that says something for this channel, and that is a book review. I'm going to try to start doing these more regularly, because I want to give my thoughts about books, and this book that I just read really did give me a sense of I want to do more book reviews, because I feel like as I grow older, I need to start reviewing them if I'm going to actually uphold this channel to its standards. So I wanted to kind of talk about this book because I have some really strong thoughts on it, and I know it's one that everyone was really hyped for when it came out, and I was hyped for it, not gonna lie, because it's something that's really cool and I'm really interested in, so I wanted to talk about it. And yeah, so this is my own thoughts. If you don't agree, it's fine. And as this is a review, I'm going to be giving some spoilers, so I'm just putting that out front, up ahead, so that way you guys know that I'm not actually trying to spoil you. If this is a review, you clicked on a review for a reason. So yeah, I'm going to get right into it now because I'm really anxious to really get my thoughts out about this book. I actually had to write down all my thoughts because if I hadn't written them down, it would have been a mess. The book I just finished is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, and this is the first book in a trilogy or something. I don't really know. Granted, I won't be finishing the trilogy, but I'll get into that in a moment. So if you guys haven't heard of this book, or it's been a while, this book is a King Arthur retelling where it's told from the perspective of Guinevere and how she comes to Camelot. This is a kind of an alternative take on King Arthur in a way, because as I said, there's going to be spoilers, and as the title suggests, the Guinevere that comes to Camelot isn't the actual Guinevere. Guinevere died, and so Merlin had to take this girl and basically make her Guinevere so she can marry Arthur. And then she also has to protect him, and a whole bunch of stuff happens, and she has magic. It's a mess, but it's not a mess, but it is a mess. We'll talk about that in a second. So I'm gonna put my rating right up front because I know that's probably what you guys want to hear first. I gave this book 2 stars. This is the first time ever that I've really given books below 2 stars, I think. Maybe I did give The Diviners a 2 stars. I don't really remember. But I gave this book a 2 stars because instantly after, when I was reading it, I was like, this is just 2 stars. I don't care. Almost 1 star. But anyway, I'm going to put this book down and I'm just going to talk about my thoughts because this book's heavy and I want to talk about my thoughts now. So I'm going to start with the good because that's probably why you're here. As I said, this book is a King Arthur retelling, which is something that I really, really enjoyed. I knew the characters because I knew the story, which is cool, but it's also a downside, which I'll get to in my cons section, so you might want to, if you want to skip there, you can skip there, I don't really care. So, the writing style, I had no complaints about it. This is, I want to say, my second Kirsten White book. I don't remember, oh no, yeah, this is my first Kirsten White book. No, it's not. No, it's not. I read the Paranormal Sea trilogy. That's what it was. So I did read some of her books before, but that was when I was younger, so I didn't really give too much thought about that. I didn't remember her writing style, so that's fine. But I had no complaints about it. It wasn't annoying. I mean, yeah, it could get a little bit of storytelling here and there, but that's because you kind of have to. But that's one of the things that are good, I guess, is that I didn't really mind the writing style. It was fine. So putting writing style and style of the book ahead, I'm going to go into kind of everything else. I guess I'll start with the main point is I like how Guinevere, because we don't really know this girl's real name, Guinevere is always there to protect Arthur. She's always there to protect Camelot, and I really liked that, but sometimes it could get a little weird. Obsessive. Not obsessive, but obsessive. She always wants to save him from threats. For example, in the story, there is this knight, and he is basically competing in all these tournaments to become one of Arthur's knights, and Guinevere thinks that he is conspiring with somebody else to take down Arthur, when in reality they just wanted to get her out of Camelot. So in order to do that, they have to convict this woman to be a witch, and magic is prohibited in Camelot, so she gets banished instead by Mordred, which we'll get to him too. I love him though, like, in reality though. And then we're gonna get to my last point of the pros, I guess, because there's a lot of cons, as you can tell by my rating of the book. I really did like all of the female interactions and the friendships. Like, there were 3 that struck out to me. I only wrote down 2 because I only remember 2. But there is 3 that I liked. One was Guinevere and her handmaiden Brennigan, I think that's what her name is. And they were, like, basically completely like sisters, like, halfway through the book, which is fine. And they were really cute, really nice, whatever. And especially after we find out about Brennigan, so again, spoilers, Brennigan is the daughter of a witch, and she practices magic as well, especially not magic, which is what Guinevere practices. So Guinevere caught her, and all this stuff ensued. But then she was like, I'll keep your secret because we're friends. And then they end up like a true sisterhood, basically, and it's like, it's great. I love that friendship. And then the other friendship that I liked, I forget what her name is. I'll probably put it across the screen, but it was Guinevere and the sister of a knight, and the sister, like, nobody really wanted to interact with her because she was strange, she didn't have a husband, I don't know, she just wasn't normal. And then Guinevere had the idea to go and visit her first, like, thought of being queen, and then they became like best friends and sisters, and Guinevere helped the friend get this knight to notice her, and they are probably courting now. So like they are like legit best friends now. And then the last friendship slash relationship I wanted to kind of get into was Guinevere and Lancelot. So in this retelling of Arthurian tales, Lancelot is not a man. She's a woman. I actually loved that point. That was like the greatest thing that I probably could have ever like thought of, because Lancelot is great. And it makes the spin on the Guinevere and Lancelot like love triangle thing kind of more modern, because we don't know if Lancelot and Guinevere will ever get together in this series or in this trilogy or whatever, because, you know, there's still some stigma in I guess Camelot that 2 women can't date. And we see that in the case of Brennigan and her love, which is a woman, but obviously she can't like see her and meet her. So Lancelot is a woman, and basically the knight who I was talking about earlier is Lancelot, and Lancelot was trying to help this lady get out of Camelot, so that way they can, you know, be with their witchy coven or whatever. I don't really know. But like, I really liked that like spin. I really liked that spin because it was just, I wasn't expecting Lancelot to actually turn out to be a woman, and I had to like think about it for a few minutes before I actually continued reading, because I was like, wait, Lancelot's a woman? That's actually pretty cool. And I liked how at the end she became Guinevere's protector, and that just that was really awesome. And they kind of have this like, you don't know if they have like romantic tension, if you know what I mean, because like they're just really close, and it seems more on the romantic side than the friendship wise for me. But we'll see. So that was 10 minutes of me talking what I liked. Let's talk about what I didn't like about the Guinevere exception. So I was reading this when I was in the presence of Kyle, and I literally was like screaming at the book, because within like the first 100 pages, I had no idea what was going on. It was really boring. Like, literally it was just nothing was happening, no plot. Nothing was happening to the characters to make me want to stay. But I stayed and persevered. So, you gotta give me credit. Yeah, it seemed like nothing important was happening, and I did skim a lot, because I was just like looking for some sort of, I don't know, hope that something good was gonna happen in the first 100 pages. It did not. And then we get after 100 pages and still nothing happened. So I was just kind of like, okay, what do I do now? I almost stopped at page 124 and never, like, picked it back up. I almost DNF'd this book. That's how bad it was. I, like, almost never DNF books because I want to give books a chance. And in this case, that backfired on me because it still wasn't good. And then, after 200 pages is when things started kicking in, but, like, I still wasn't fully invested because those first 100 pages were not, like, interesting at all. So it was not fun to read that. And then, so Guinevere, our main character, it seemed like even though she was trying her best to protect Camelot and Guinevere, at the first sight of danger, people would just, like, basically protect her and hide her away until the threat went away. And I was just like, isn't she supposed to be the one protecting Arthur? I don't know. It's just so weird because she has all this magic in her too. Like, she has magic that Merlin taught her. She's Merlin's daughter. And she can freaking do all this magic, and yet she has to be whisked away and protected. Like, I guess she's the queen of Camelot, but, like, you can at least give her some sword or, like, something to protect herself at some sign of danger. Like, it's not... And, like, the whole point of her being sent to protect Arthur was for his protection with her magic, and yet, like, she could barely even do that, and the times that she could, he would always be like, oh, like, you're good, like, they're fine, like, leave them alone, we'll look into them later. Like, that could have been a serious threat on his life, and he literally just brushed it off. So, this is kind of a TMI point that really, like, kind of irked me a little bit, because I was literally pissed for, like, half an hour, I'm gonna say. Because I talked to Kyle about this, and I was just like, I was reading, there's this one point where, Guinevere happens to spot blood in her underclothes, and girls, you know what that means, you're gonna get your monthly. She had no idea why she was bleeding. She thought she was dying. I mean, granted, sometimes you do feel like you're dying when you do have your period, but, like, she didn't know what it was, and then everyone thought she was pregnant, or she had sex with Arthur or something. It was weird. I don't know. It was just, that's just annoying, and Kyle just looked at me like, really? Which, it annoyed me. Like, I didn't understand why she didn't know. Like, I guess she was, like, in hiding with Merlin for most of her life, and, like, Merlin probably didn't tell her about girl things, but, like, I assumed she was well into her teen years. I thought she was 17 years old, or 18, or in her 20s. She didn't know what it was. And then, the thing that kind of, you know, annoyed me was I knew that Mordred was going to be bad from the get-go. Because if you do not know the story behind the Arthurian tales, Mordred is Arthur's betrayer, so that means that he is his enemy. And so Mordred, throughout basically the whole entire book, was nice. He basically fell in love with Guinevere, which is weird, because he's Arthur's cousin. I don't know. Then, you know, I knew he was bad, and, like, I knew it was coming, but the way it went about just wasn't, like, there. It literally just was there, and I was just like, oh, is that how you're gonna write that? Okay. So, it was weird, 'cause, like, I already knew the story of Mordred and how he betrayed Arthur, so, like, I was seeing, like, oh, maybe there's gonna be this big bombshell that Arthur, like, Arthur and Mordred, like, found, or Mordred, like, ended up, like, concealing it to Arthur, or revealing it to Arthur. Nope. Nah. Nope. So that was just kind of frustrating, because I thought it was gonna be this huge, big bomb drop. But it wasn't. So I was just confused and annoyed. There's so many more thoughts I have on this book, I really do, and, like, I made sure to check Goodreads after I read, and it seemed like not a lot of people liked it, or, like, a lot of people on my friends list even read it, so don't read it. I mean, I'm not telling you not to read it, but, like, it was not fun. I mean, other people might think it's good and fun, but nah, it's not. Okay, so that's the end of me babbling for almost 20 minutes. for my review of the Guinevere Deception. Again, I give it 2 stars out of 5. It's not good. Didn't like it. Again, this is not me telling you not to read it. You can read it. You can do what you want to do. But I just didn't enjoy it. So, by all means, if you want to read it, go ahead. But I just didn't enjoy it. So, thanks so much for watching. My name's Olivia. You're on Bookish Nice channel, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!